No surprise here, Nancy Pelosi went out in front of the press and defended members of Congress owning and being able to trade stock. You know, apparently, according to Business Insider, there were 49 members of Congress that violated the Stock Act just this year alone. And the last 2 years, members of Congress all across the board were investing in companies that made the vaccines, that made the tests, masks, things like that. And these are the people that write our laws. And they're making out like bandits whenever it suits them because they got that inside information where they can do it really fast. And they always make laws that favor their own bottom line and the bottom lines of those they invest in and the donors who fund their campaigns. That is Washington, D.C. to a T. Are you furious yet? I hope so. Is that fire lit under your ass yet? It better be. Because we need a new system. I said it in that last video. We need a new system. And we can't have it as long as this one exists. As long as we keep adhering to the rules of this system. We are run by criminals. These people have the ability to write our laws as well as get rich off of the laws they make. And we have no say in that. That's not democracy. It damn sure isn't freedom and liberty. It damn sure isn't representing your constituents. And it isn't doing right by the American people. It's being selfish. It's being narcissistic. It's being opportunistic. It's being a capitalist. This is why capitalism is a problem in our country. And I've said it before and I'll continue to say it. We've got to stop equating American with capitalist. They're not the same thing. Capitalism's only allegiance is to money, to profit. And that, in and of itself, has no bounds to a country. You can make money in just about any country. And that's where capitalists go. They go where the money is. So far, it's starting to leave the United States. We're still very much the biggest market, but we got China right there with us now. And apparently, they are now the wealthiest nation in the world. I forget where I heard that, but look that up for yourself, and it wouldn't surprise me if that were actually true. But at the very least, they're right at our heels or right alongside us right now. But to me, that's really irrelevant. I'm not really a competitive person in that sense, right? I think, if anything, the U.S. and China should be cooperating together to address climate change and all these other issues. Now, I will not sing the praises of China's human rights track record because they have an abysmal one, as does Russia. So, save that for a later time. But other things like climate change, yeah, we need to be cooperating right now. We need to do away with this competitiveness in markets, in business, in the things that are necessary to sustain life. We cannot continue to be competitive with those things. We make enough to feed the world. We make enough to house and clothe the world. We make enough to give everybody health care. We don't need to be competing over this stuff. It's childish. It's like the rest of the world looks at us now as if we're like the lost boys from Peter Pan. Like we're the kids that refuse to grow up. And they have every reason to look at us that way. I mean, that's how these politicians in Washington are treating their jobs. Yay! Nobody's watching our backs now. Ooh, we're going to make all this money by rigging the system and doing all this illegal trading inside and, oh, money, 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 money. That's what they're all about. It's like Ilhan Omar said, it's all about the Benjamins, baby. It is all about the Benjamins for them. So I think this highlights two key things, all right? I mean, aside from all the obvious stuff, like we need a whole new system, more parties involved in the whole process, and new leadership and all that stuff. But it highlights the need to, one, nationalize the stock market. Nationalize the stock market. Make every citizen of the country a shareholder. Give all the people the benefits of the success of that market. They do something similar in Alaska. They nationalize their oil and their mineral holdings, and they get a UBI check every year, one every year, I believe it is. Why can't we do that nationwide, or even go beyond that? I think it's totally possible. Another thing it highlights is, what I actually just touched on it, is universal basic income. Eliminate the rationale for this type of financial crime. If you have UBI, and you peg UBI for inflation to match where the costs are going, and to the cost of living according to everything else, you'll be fine. Ups and downs in the economy is just going to be a side note. You'll be fine. You'll be able to survive, and that's important. We should not have to be fighting like we're trying to crawl through a desert with no water just to get our basic needs met. For some reason, some of these business people think that that's how life should be, that we should all struggle to survive because that's what it's all about, competition. Not when it comes to food, not when it comes to health care, not when it comes to clean water and clean air, not when it comes to a roof over your head, not when it comes to clothes on your back, not when it comes to a quality education, not when it comes to things like the military, the police, firefighting, your utilities, your infrastructure. None of those things should be competed over. They are all public goods. Everyone needs them. They're not privileges in a civilized society. They are requirements. So those need to be taken off the table. I've said it before and again. We need to have the Priorities Amendment passed because that will, when we get a new system though, of course, we need to get the Priorities Amendment included in the new Constitution to make certain that these issues, these areas of society are fully funded without Congress going through any kind of debate. Like those are off the table. You can't debate those. Those get funded, period, end of story. That's how it needs to be. But this just shows you the depth of corruption that we have in Washington and how we really, really need to get this system out of our lives, change our destiny moving forward to something better and really craft a new system in a way where we just hold these people accountable no matter how frivolous the infraction. Now, I'm not saying go totalitarian and be Kim Jong-un style. I would never say that. No, what I'm saying is we incentivize better behavior in our system, okay? You don't want to do this by being evil and mean and vindictive and violent. What you want to do is you want to create a new system by incentivizing good behavior. Where if you indulge in the good behavior, if you look out for people first, you look out for the environment first, you look out for the health of everyone and everything first, you'll be rewarded for that. Not if you just destroy everything in your path and you're the lone survivor, then you get rewarded. No. Not when it comes to the economy. Not when it comes to meeting the basic needs of people. And we are really a criminal country at this point. We are run by some of the most notorious white-collar criminals on the planet. And until we get a new system, this is going to continue. And I'm open to suggestions. I've got ideas of my own that I can share at some point. I think I've mentioned some in the past as well, but a new system is necessary. We need a UBI. We need to nationalize the stock market. It would actually be the best way to fund public programs. Minimum taxation, maximum yield on the back end. That's how the market works. Then we pay for it that way. I think it's a great idea. They do it a similar way in Norway, I believe, so take a lesson from that. But we need to get these people out of power. We need to make stock trading illegal in our new system. Like corruption, I agree with, again, Kyle, I know I need to start referencing other people, but I agree with his take that corruption needs to be on the same level as murder or rape or even terrorism or treason. Corruption affects potentially billions of lives, depending on where it occurs and what the situation is and who's involved in it. So yeah, this is a disgusting system we have. It's rotten and corrupt to the core, and it needs to be thrown out with the rest of the garbage.